И прямо сейчас к нам присоединяется Масих Alinejad.
Joining us now is Masih Alinejad, president of the International Congress of Free Iran, journalist and activist, one of the leaders of the resistance. Welcome and thanks for finding the time. Masih, do you have any additional information on the crash? Does it seem plausible to you that it was an accident?
To be honest, the Iranian regime are really good at actually manipulating everything, hiding the information. No, so far we don't have any news, but we all know that people in Iran are very happy. You know, I think this is the first time you see me with a smile, with colorful dress. And like, you know, I lost even my voice because I've been celebrating with the people of Iran, dancing, singing, and showing my happiness over the death of dictator who actually ordered mass executions, who was in charge of killings and torturing and, you know, hanging people. That's all I know. But at the same time, a lot of people believe that he was one of the candidates for the succession of Ali Khamenei, for the replacement of the current supreme leader. So another candidate was Ali Khamenei's son. So there are talks among people, among analysts and Iranian media that it may not have been an accident. There might be sabotage, but this is something that people and analysts in Iran have been talking.
So you mean his death was arranged by people inside of Iran, not by external forces?
No, people think that Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is trying, and Revolutionary Guards, people around him, are trying actually to empower Ali Khamenei's son, Moshtaba, who is another candidate for the succession, for the replacement of 85-year-old Supreme Leader. But as I said, so far, this is just a conversation, and it is going to add to the crisis of the future Supreme Leader, for sure. People believe that unlike democratic countries, president is not actually the head of a state in Iran. President doesn't have power in Iran. The key decision maker when it comes to national security, when it comes to foreign affairs, when it comes to even controlling the state television, the judiciary system, the nuclear activities, all is going to be the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. So clearly, the death of Ibrahim Raisi is not going to bring a major change in Iran, because we already know that he was useless. Like all the presidents, he was selected by the Supreme Leader. But at the same time, it is going to add to the crisis and challenges of the succession to replace Ali Khamenei.
Это очень интересно.
Very interesting. You said that Iranians are rejoicing. We did, in fact, see videos from Iran, some with celebrations and fireworks from certain neighborhoods, but I can't speak for their authenticity. So you can tell me if people were actually risking...
My sister, you have me here. If you cannot confirm the video of Iranian people dancing over the death of a dictator, I can use your platform.
That's exactly why I'm asking.
To show my happiness, because let me be very, very clear. We live under authoritarian regimes. We get killed for the crime of showing our hair like this, for the crime of dancing, for the crime of singing. So of course we are happy. This is fact. And actually, I want to use your platform, my beautiful sister, my powerful sister. I want to use your platform and teach the leaders of democratic countries, teach the leaders of the European Union. I want to teach the member states at the United Nations, especially at the Security Council, to smile, to stand with the people of Iran and celebrate the death of dictator who was in charge of killing people, who was in charge of targeting the dissidents beyond their own borders, transnational repression as victims all over Europe. And now you see the leaders of the European countries showing their sympathy with Ibrahim Raisi. That is a shame. That's a slap on the face of Iranian women getting killed for simply showing their hair, for simply walking on bed. This is an insult to a nation. When you see 1 minute of silence at the United Nations, wow. You know, we're talking about United Nations, which just a few months ago was a place for Ibrahim Raisi at the Human Rights Council. They had a seat for Iranian regime at the woman top body at the United Nations to monitor women's rights globally. And if you and your people in Russia remember, there was a seat at the United Nations for Putin, for Maduro, for all the dictators. So I think we, the people who live under authoritarianism, we know how it feels to lose dictator. So I'm calling on the leaders of free world to join us, the women, not with the killers. Pick your side and celebrate with Iranian people, have a common strategy to end the Islamic Republic.
Masih, I'm sending you all the support and envy I can express through the broadcast, but the people watching are probably thinking to themselves, but what about those thousands of Iranians that are mourning and accompanying Raisi on his funeral procession? Could you please explain what's happening in the country right now?
That's true. That's a good question. Look, dictators are really good. First, at filtering social media or banning their own people from using social media, but at the same time using the social media and the state propaganda television, closing all the shops, schools, and managing to bring their own supporters in the street. That actually happened when Qasem Soleimani got killed. They managed to bring people in the street. I'm asking them, give only one day and ask everyone who hates Ibrahim Raisi and Ali Khamenei to take to the streets. What's going to happen? Only in bloody November, 1,500 people got killed for simply taking to the street, and unarmed, empty-hand people protesting. When Mahsa Amini got killed, people took to the street. What happened? 20,000 of people, according to the judiciary system in Iran, got arrested. Of course, these people who are now trying to show their sympathy with the Islamic Republic, they are part of the minority, because the election shows you that only less than 20% show up to election stations. So the majority do not have the permission to take to the streets. For that, I have to say that the dictators are really good at using their main propaganda tool. But what makes me sad that the Iranian regime allowing the Western journalists to be there only to cover this. Why don't you cover the social media that the family members of the victims putting their lives and risk their lives and dancing? I got bombarded by videos from women with one eye being blinded by the Islamic Republic, but at the same time now dancing, drinking. So for me and millions of people who live under authoritarian regimes, it is very, very normal and typical to see that they manage to bring, some of their own supporters in the street to mislead the rest of the world.
You said that in principle, the president of Iran is next in line after Ayatollah Khomeini, and so there is cause for celebration amongst those in the opposition like yourself. Tell me, please, are there any feelings of change amongst you? Could protests begin? Could this death turn a new page in the history of your country?
I think Ibrahim Raisi himself became a subject of jokes because of his low IQ, because of people were trying to mock him. So I don't think that his death will, trick people to take to the streets, but it is going to open a new chapter for the opposition outside and inside to be more united, to have a strategic plan, to have a smooth transition from Islamic Republic to a secular democracy. At the same time, it should open a new chapter for the leaders of free world to have one common strategy to end Islamic Republic, because Islamic Republic is not just a threat to its own people. Now, Islamic Republic is one of the biggest ally of Putin, sending drones to Putin to kill innocent Ukrainians. So at the same time, sponsoring Hamas, Houthi, Hezbollah in the region to create chaos and mayhem in the region. So for that, I believe that the time has come. We have to be ready, because Iranian people are not predictable. They might come back to the streets one day, but the whole world, the opposition, we must be ready to help unarmed people to have a secular democracy, and have normal life. That's the new chapter that the democratic leaders, especially the leaders of the G7, they should, instead of showing sympathy with the killers, they should stand with the people. They should close the doors of diplomacy with these regime and open the doors of negotiation towards freedom fighters, the dissidents who want to have peace, security, democracy, and dignity.
Я вас так хорошо понимаю, Масих. Огромное вам спасибо.
I sympathize with you so much. Thank you, and I hope we meet again on TV Rain. Masih Alinejad, president of the International Congress of Free Iran, Iranian journalist and activist. We spoke about the death of the Iranian President, Mr. Raisi, which, according to preliminary sources, was caused by technological issues in the helicopter in which he was traveling. Sanctions under which it was impossible to buy new helicopter parts seemingly worked, and so even the highest-ranking officials had to travel in such old vehicles. The aviation accident occurred in foggy conditions, and not only did the head of the Iranian government die, but so did the foreign minister and other officials that were on board.